Of recent conversations when people would say to me, "You have held up, you have done well in this onslaught." And I realized that what has held me up is the assurance of competence. Simply, no decision that I have made in my role as Chief Justice or in my capacity as President of a panel of the Supreme Court has come from anything but a knowledge of law. No matter how many noises are made, the law is the law. And the only answer one can give to all the hand-waving is the legal answer, unless we want something else. But I am quite sure that Ghana as a society is not looking for
the best in the morning
and give them something other than law. And therefore, here I am. Everyone gets the law.
The best in the morning is on 92.7 Sunrise on 3 FM.
Ensuring that you have the competencies to be in the place that you are put. And I was reminding myself of recent conversations when people would say to me, "You have held up, you have done well in this onslaught." And I realized that what has held me up is the assurance of competence. Simply, no decision that I have made in my role as Chief Justice or in my capacity as President of a panel of the Supreme Court has come from anything but a knowledge of law. No matter how many noises are made, the law is the law. And the only answer one can give to all the hand-waving is the legal answer, unless we want something else. But I am quite sure that Ghana as a society is not looking for Chief Justices that bend and give them something other than law. And therefore, here I am. Everyone gets the law. Listening to our Lady Chair on ensuring that you have the competencies to be in the place that you are put. And I was reminding myself of recent conversations when people would say to me, "You have held up, you have done well in this onslaught." And I realized that what has held me up is the assurance of competence. Simply, no decision that I have made in my role as Chief Justice or in my capacity as President of a panel of the Supreme Court has come from anything but a knowledge of law. No matter how many noises are made, the law is the law. And the only answer one can give to all the hand-waving is the legal answer, unless we want something else.
That's the Chief Justice, Gertrude Sophia. Gertrude is Saba Tokonu. Well, Araba is Saba Tokonu. Now let's listen to her counsel, her lawyer, who was in court yesterday, the former Attorney General of the Republic of Ghana, Godfred Yeboah Dami.
As a former Attorney General, to ask your opinion as a lawyer for Madam Tokonu, what would you say to that?
Due process, rule of law, constitutionalism must prevail in Ghana. That is what we see. We did not on account of people putting pressure on CJ to resign or whether that will take a decision. The most important thing is that there must be an uphold of the rule of law in Ghana. And we will continue to assert our rights.
So the
proper thing must be done. As far as I'm concerned, the proper thing must be done. And since the Chief Justice has been in office, she's been a judicial office holder for more than 25 years or so. She's been at the bar for almost 40 years. She knows what is due process. She knows what is constitutional rights. And I think that's what she's asking for. And how can it be correct that a judge who sat on 2 matters of which she also sat be called as witness in a petition against her, and that same judge be made the chairman of the committee that is supposed to inquire into the petitions against the Chief Justice? Clearly, it's untenable. It's only in this country that we don't know. And the question is, on what account can she be singled out for removal from office when indeed she did not sit even alone? She sat as part of a panel. One of the judges' father is being made a witness. That's all. That's my comment.
As a former attorney general, to ask your opinion as a lawyer for Madam Tokono, what would you say to that?
Due process, rule of law, constitutionalism must prevail in Ghana. That is what we see. We did not, on account of people putting pressure on CJ to resign or whether that will take a decision. The most important thing is that there must be an uphold of the rule of law in Ghana. And we will continue to assert our rights.
So the
proper thing must be done. As far as I'm concerned, the proper thing must be done. And since the Chief Justice has been in office, she's been a judicial office holder for more than 25 years or so.
She's been at the bar for 40 years. 92.7 Sunrise on 3 FM.
She knows what is constitutional rights. And I think that's what she's asking for. And how can it be correct that a judge who sat on 2 matters of which she also sat be called as witness in a petition against her, and that same judge be made the chairman of the committee that is supposed to inquire into the petitions against the Chief Justice? Clearly, it's untenable. It's only in this country that we don't know. And the question is, on what account can she be singled out for removal from office when indeed she did not sit even alone? She sat as part of a panel. One of the judges' father is being made a witness. That's all. That's my comment.
That's the former Attorney General of the Republic of Ghana, Godfred Yeboah-Dame, who's representing the Chief Justice, Justice Tokonu, who is now on suspension.
The best in the morning is on 92.7 Sunrise on 3 FM.
Now let's pay attention to the detail. The Chief Justice filed an interlocutory injunction, filed for it. The courts disagreed with her. The respondents were the Attorney General, that's Dr. Dominic Ayene, Justice Gabriel Pwamang, who is the committee head for the committee that's hearing the details in the petition and the answers thereof from the Chief Justice, to seeking to push her off her seat, if you will. There's also Justice Samuel Adibu Asidu. There's Daniel Yao Domelevu. There's Major Flora Bazwanura Dalugu and Professor James Sefa Jisa. They are the respondents. What happened in court? Now, the CJ was seeking an order restraining the committee set up by the president to inquire into the 3 petitions against the plaintiff, composed of the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th defendants from the proceeding with an inquiry. So that's minus the Attorney General. And it continues to say taking action in connection with the determination of a purported prima facie case made against the plaintiff. 2, the CJ was also seeking an order restraining the 2nd and 3rd respondents, that's the 2 justices on the committee, from presiding over or participating in proceedings of the committee set up by the president, as per Article 146 of the Constitution. 3, The CJ was also seeking an order suspending the operation of the warrant for the suspension of the Chief Justice purportedly issued by the President under Article 146(10) of the Constitution until the hearing and final determination of the instant action. In other words, the Chief Justice says that I shouldn't have been suspended, or I should not be suspended. I should continue being Chief Justice while the committee sits, while I appear before the committee, until the matters are determined before I am suspended. So she doesn't want the suspension or interdiction look alike. What did the AG say in response to what the CJ said? The Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayine, said, the AG says in-camera hearing is a constitutional command geared at safeguarding not only the CJ, but the entire judiciary. It can therefore not be waived. Remember that the Chief Justice has said that she wants her rights to be heard in camera waived so that all of us, you and I, and every Ghanaian and all those across the world could actually watch the proceedings. But here the Attorney General says that, no, it is not about you, your ladyship. It is about the entire judiciary, so we cannot waive it. 2, the Attorney General also responded that there is no basis in law for the 2 Supreme Court judges to be restrained from participating in the petition probe. Mind you, if you look at Article 146, it tells you who can be on that committee if the Council of State and the presidency or the president agree that there is some prima facie, and that prima facie has to be a question that must be answered. Now, again, the Attorney General responded that specifically to Justice Samuel Adibu Asiedu, the Attorney General says he did not participate in the injunction hearing and can therefore not be precluded. The Attorney General says that Justice Asiedu did not participate in the injunction hearing and therefore cannot be precluded. So the argument that they had sat on one case in the court to say that the injunction you had brought is not tenable, and then to come back onto a committee to come and say that, yes, you cannot be part of the committee. The AG says the particular justice that you are talking about was not even part of the team that heard the injunction. So your argument then is flawed. On Justice Gabriel Scott Puamang, the Attorney General argued that his participation in cases put before the courts by one of the petitioners cannot constitute evidence of bias. I take it again. On Justice Gabriel Scott Puamang, the Attorney General argues his participation in cases put before the courts by one of the petitioners cannot constitute evidence of bias. Remember that one of the petitioners had taken the matter also to court. Justice Puamang was part of the panel, and that is what the Attorney General, on behalf of the Chief Justice, is raising questions to, where the AG says that cannot be evidence of bias. The Attorney General further states that members of the committee have taken the necessary oath of office contrary to claims by the Chief Justice. So there's an oath that they must take, oath of secrecy and all those other oaths that they must take. The Attorney General is now telling us that all the members of the committee, from Professor Gisa to the Major to Mr. Domelevu to Justice Asiedu to Justice Puamang, they have all taken the oath, and therefore the CJ cannot be correct if she says that that has not been done. Again, the Attorney General responds to say that the case for injunction has not been made out. A case for injunction has not been made out. I'm sure that the court yesterday upheld what the Attorney General said. It was a 5-0 majority decision, right? To say that unanimous. Crosby, that's the word, right?
Yes.
Unanimous. Okay. Now, there's also the preliminary matters that were raised. The Attorney General prayed the court for the exclusion from the suit the 5 members of the committee probing the petitions against the Chief Justice. His argument was that they are not proper parties on the face of the writ of summons, but that was overruled by the court. Again, the Attorney General prayed for the exclusion of the CJ's supplementary affidavit in support of the application for interlocutory injunction. His argument was that it offends the confidentiality requirement under Article 1468 of the 1992 Constitution, this was sustained and the preliminary affidavit struck out. Again, the former Attorney General, who is the Chief Justice's lawyer, that's Godfrey Adame, he raised an objection against the current Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayene's representation of the members of the committee probing the petitions seeking the removal of the CJ. That's 2 to 6 defendants. That's defendants 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, minus the Attorney General himself, who was also sued by the Chief Justice. Now, again, for Justice Tokonu, the fifth application, which was unanimously dismissed, what did he say? The purported finding of a prima facie case does not amount to a proper determination of a prima facie and is therefore null and void. Failure of the president to publish regulations to guide the exercise of discretion in the determination of the prima facie case and the setting up of the Committee on Constitutional Center for Citizenship, Constitutional and Electoral Systems, third application, it was dismissed by a 4-1 majority. The fourth application, which was also dismissed by a 4-1 majority, was the failure of president to serve the Chief Justice a copy of the determination of the prima facie case, which is unconstitutional. Then the second application was struck out for want of prosecution, where the failure of the president to first forward petitions to the Chief Justice for responses before consultation with the Council of State is unconstitutional. A convincent also comes then, and these are other people who have come before the court, right? But a convincent as a person of importance because he's a member of parliament as well. His first application dismissed by a 3-2 majority. Same vein of arguments, that failure of the president to first forward the petitions to the Chief Justice for a response before consultations with the Council of State is unconstitutional. That was what he took to court. The Supreme Court at the time had a 3-2 majority, which was not in favor of Ecoviscent's position that he had taken, that the failure of the president to first submit the petitions to the Chief Justice for responses before consulting with the Council of State is unconstitutional. Well, the court says no. Now, the Supreme Court's panel that heard the CJ's injunction application, His Lordship Justice Henry A. Kofi, His Lordship Justice Isifu Omoro Tanko Amadu, His Lordship Justice Paul Bafubon, who is the acting Chief Justice, His Lordship Justice Emmanuel Yoni Kulendi, and His Lordship Justice A.J. Frimpong. These are the 5 gentlemen who sat yesterday on the Chief Justice's injunction application that was brought before them, and unanimously, all the 5 justices of the Supreme Court, including the acting Chief Justice, they all said, well, the matter that the Chief Justice brought before them, that's the CJ's injunction application, was without merit. Christian Lebrecht Malmhess is a private legal practitioner. He's joining us on the phone line. Chris, good morning. Thank you for your time.
Good morning, Benjamin.
Great.
Thanks for having me.
When the court says something is without merit, what does it mean?
Okay. It basically means that the legal given consideration that a court ought to it has not been met.
Your line is not too clear, my brother.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
It basically means that the legal threshold that they ought to meet was not met, and by that the application must fail.
Now, yesterday, there was a unanimous decision against the injunction that the Chief Justice, the Chief Justice represented by the former Attorney General, sought to seek from the court. If you look at it retrospectively, would you say that the court did us all some good, or would you say otherwise?
You realize that it started off first with the supplementary. The reasoning of the court was that first with the supplementary, when they shut it down, they refused to be invited into dealing with issues that had to do in camera. And before I go to the ones, you realize that the substantive matter before the court is also to determine whether in camera or not. And the court felt that the supplementary would be a backdoor invitation into that. And by that, it would refrain itself or decline that particular invitation. Now, when we interrogate the main application with injunction applications, which basically comes under Order 25 of CI 47, there are a number of key elements that the court would look at. The court would have to consider the legal rights of the person. The court would have to look at the hardship. The court would have to look at the balance of convenience, irreparable damage. And in a situation where a constitutional duty is not being exercised, the court would have to look at whether an injunction application of that nature will suffice. In jurisprudence, every duty has a corresponding right. So where there's a constitutional duty being exercised, the court ought to realize or to ascertain whether the corresponding right which has arisen has any injury to be suffered. And if the court is of the conclusive opinion that that will not arise, then the court will decide otherwise, and that is what we saw.
I see. Now, following this decision by the court, what's next? What happens? Does the CJ go before the committee now?
So you realize that the injunction applications has been dismissed. The CJ brought a substantive writ seeking certain interpretations. Those one would proceed. Once the injunction has been dealt with, there is nothing stopping the committee from doing its work.
Now, the conversation on the streets, especially on social media, is that the Chief Justice brought the members of the committee that she must appear before per Article 146 and arrangements therein. She brought them before the court to say that she wants to put an injunction literally on it, literally questioning their capacity and their presence on the committee. Now the way has been paved for her to appear before the committee. These are the same people that you had brought before the court. Is she able to look them in the eye? That's the question on the streets. I'm not sure you have heard that, but I'm bringing that to your attention. What do you say?
I mean, it is nothing more. The committee has been put there in unison of the law. You see, when it comes to constitutionalism, we have two streams of or two limbs of law or divisions, which deals with the positivism and then the natural law theory. And with positivism, it deals with what is, and the second aspect of it deals with what ought to be. What ought to be is a question of morality, and what is what the law is. Now, dealing on deals with the fact that what the law has prescribed, which is what is what constitutionalism has put it, and by that they are ascribed to do their work, irrespective of whatever had happened. Just as I mentioned, a constitutional duty has a correlative effect with the right in constitutionalism. And by that, the learned Chief Justice had every right under the law to exercise the right that she did. And having exercised that, the duty bestowed on the committee must continue. Now, the question that you ask deals with morality, and Professor H.L.A. has, in agreeing with the natural theory of law, said that in positivism, there is what we call the minimum theory of morality.
Mm-hmm.
And by that, the committee is ascribed with that minimum theory of morality to continue with the work that they are doing in constitutionalism. So it has nothing untoward. Duty continues.
I see. Now, again, some are of the view that, look, people have gone to court not directly on behalf of the Chief Justice, but have gone to court seeking similar things that the Chief Justice may be seeking, and they have not been successful. Some 3-1, some 4-1 in terms of the decision of the Supreme Court. Yes. The Chief Justice herself went and she got a unanimous 5-0 against whatever she brought, and even went on to say that it is without merit. Some suggest that at this point, maybe the Chief Justice should pull the plugs and resign and go and find a peaceful haven and settle in. And some say she should fight on because it is the course of law. The law is the law. What would you say?
It is a question. It is a question of law, and it's also a question of morality. The Chief Justice believes that in both of these points that I have mentioned, she has a cause to which she believes that, from hearing from, what's his name, the former Attorney General, the Chief Justice is minded to fight this to the end. And again, quoting him, because I watched his interview, he indicated that, and also stemming from the risk that they had filed, you realize that the whole essence of basic interpretation, when you look at Article 19, when it comes to adjudication, and then you further transcend to Article 281 thereabout, which deals with inquiry, commission of inquiry. And when you go to the interpretation side of the Constitution, which mentions that inquiry will be construed as committee, and then again with respect to inquiry, a commission of inquiry, it should be held in public. That if it will not affect public order and all of that, then it should be held in public. Now, it doesn't stand on that naked limb alone, but if you are linking it to Article 1468, which says that it must be heard in camera, and hearing it in camera has also been solidified by the Ghana Bar Association versus Attorney General, where the decision was that in camera is important because it protects the dignity and independence of the judiciary.
That's right.
Is one that will make an interesting determination whether the court will be able to find a way around it or the court will maintain that. Having said all of this, it can be gleaned from it that the thinking of the learned Chief Justice, she wants an interpretation which will go in her favor so that whatever the petitioner believes that she had done, she wants Ghanaians to see it, whether good, bad, or ugly, in the quest for her to fight to the end. So it looks like she wants to fight to the end and not resign.
Well, but again, to what end?
The what end I have explained to you that is one of law and morality. and that is what she's advancing. She wants to fight to the end and convict herself that she fought a good fight. And she is, just like I explained, she wants, probably her last fight is to see whether she can get a public hearing for Ghanaians to see. But that is a big legal hurdle. And I've explained the hurdle for you in respect of the case I mentioned, and that provision which makes it mandatory.
Right.
But alas, the Supreme Court, by stare decisis, can always change their mind because by what we call rule of recognition, which is rooted in the jurisprudential theory of positivism, deals with the fact that in rule of adjudication, we have what you call formalism and then extreme realism. And when it comes to formalism, it deals with rules that judges rely on, so rules of court, decisions, principles. And then when you go to extreme realism, it deals with discretion. And in between it, we have what we call the law of penumbra.
Okay.
And by law of penumbra, it deals with the hard cases. And in that penumbra, the judges become encouraged in order to exercise that discretion within between formalism and then extreme realism. So we would have the opportunity on calling on our judges to see what position they would come to based upon this little jurisprudence I have run by you.
Right. Now, again, the sanctity of the judiciary is in the public eye now, and people are thinking all manner of things. Yesterday we saw the learned Chief Justice, Her Ladyship, coming through the main entrance, as we all do, to enter the courts. And one would have thought that's strange, because for more than 20 years of her life, she has been not through the front door like everybody else, a special entry through the back end, through the chambers, and then into the open court. But yesterday she was, going through the same processes as we all did, literally going through the scanners as we all do, which was one of the issues that she had raised about the committee and how she was searched and all of that. She didn't have a concern with that, but she had a concern being at the committee and being scanned and all of that. Did you find that strange as well?
The point is that rule of we are a rule-based order. We are all equal. Again, if you look at positivism, we have what we call secondary rules. And in secondary rule, before secondary, we have primary rule, but my point is on secondary rule. And in secondary rules, that is where we create the order or the legal system. And the legal system comes with institutions, and in institutions, we have power conferring institutions, we have rules conferring institutions. So the Chief Justice was conferred with an authority, and in that authority was vested in that legal system, and that is what we experienced. And that is how come you saw, or we saw, that she would go through a certain means in carrying out her work. Certain logistics were allotted to her, and however she carried herself, it was for her to exist in a certain manner which formed the architecture of the legal system, which is seated in that secondary rule of the concept of law. And once that had been taken away from her, for now, temporarily, you would see her come back to her normal self as an ordinary citizen, temporarily, until that constitutional duty is bestowed on her, is restored, then should go back to what we used to see or fear. So what you saw is the outplay of constitutionalism, or what we call in jurisprudence the concept of law hinged on the secondary rule function.
Lawyer Chris Hesse, I thank you very much indeed for your time. But before you go quickly, though, the Chief Justice also thinks that the current arrangement that we have in terms of the constitution of the committee that she's supposed to appear before must be looked at again. What's your view on that?
I am of the humble view, and I find solace in Justice Dr. Ben's decision, which meant that Article 146 ought to be sanitized in the Frank Ajay-Chum, the Attorney General, where he gave the lead judges and other judges concurred. Because we are having all of this back and forth as a result of this. Article 146, how it ought to be operationalized, it also calls on the Rules Committee to have a standard procedure. So if we are going by a regulation, and I was happy when the majority leader mentioned that they are going to provide a regulation in order to operationalize that aspect of the law. And, laws does not take retrospective effect. It is progressive.
Right.
And that is what the natural lawyers believe. And they also agreed with the positivist theory of law. And that is what would help that area of law, because with law there must be certainty.
Chris Hesse, I thank you very much indeed for your time. We're grateful that you could join us this morning.
Anyami
Oyuado is a private legal practitioner joining us here on Sunrise on 3FM 9. Of stamina, speed, and pure excitement. Oh my God. We're pedaling for the planet from Accra to Aplau. That's a massive 192 kilometers of speed. Stamina and pure excitement. 21st of June, circle that date. It doesn't matter if you're a solo rider or you're with a group or a team. It's your time to be part of Ghana's biggest cycling event. Want to join? Yes, you should. Please call 053-1100-927, 053-1100-927, and 053-2200-927, 053-1100-927, and 053-2200-927. To register or make inquiries. It's not for the faint-hearted. We call it 3FM Tour du Ghana, and it's happening in June. We're turning up the heat. Oh my God, you got to love it. We've been to Elmina, we've been to the mountains, we've been to Coal Mountains, right? We've been to Elmina, been to Akosombo. Now we're going to Volta. Applaud. Yeah. Charlie, it's going to be nice. 21st of June. You have to be part of active society. I tell you, you have to be part of it. So start training, do your aerobics, hit the road. If you trust yourself and you believe in yourself, come. My favorite part of the whole riding thing is the amputees. Charlie, they give it to the people. They give it to them hot. I'm expecting them this year too. It's going to be great. 3FM Tour du Ghana, sponsored by Malta Guinness, Fratelli, and Coam Naturals. If you're expecting your baby, or you have a baby, or you're thinking of having one, I want to bring you to a one-stop shop where motherhood is central and you get all the love and care that comes together. I imagine that you have a haven where all your baby care needs and the services are met. It's under one roof, discounted, finer and larger in quantities. Oh my God. You heard me right. It's going to be large quantity of everything that you need. 3FM Baby Fair is back. Your ultimate destination for all things childcare and comfort. Join us at the Marina Mall from the 13th to the 15th of June, 2025. As the week before, 3FM tour to Ghana. So we got it packed here for you on 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio. Guess what you enjoy when you hook onto our 3FM baby fair? You get exclusive discounts on the cutest clothes, toys, learning materials, confectionaries, wide range of items for moms, dad, and the kids as well. You get expert advice from childcare experts on how to handle your children. Lots of games, giveaways, and excitement. Live entertainment to keep your kids geared up. Unforgettable memories with your mini-me's. Oh my God. The crack moments. Change your style. Be like that. We're not going to tell you that our film is finished. As it used to be back in the day when we were kids. These days we have digital platforms and then we're going to show you love. So save the date and don't miss out on the ultimate baby bash of the year. It's a 3FM Baby Fair powered by 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio.
3FM Sunrise.
And for those of you who are looking forward to hire great talent, top talent. Join the KNUST Career Fair on the 5th and 6th of June at the KNUST Great Hall from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily and connect with bright, ambitious students and alumni ready to make an impact. This is your opportunity to showcase your organization, conduct interviews, network with potential candidates, and engage with other leading employers. Reserve your booth now and explore sponsorship packages to boost your brand visibility. Call 0322-190-741. That's 0322-190-741 or email admin.careerservices@knust.edu.gh. That knust admin.careerservices@knust.edu.gh to secure your spot. Deadline for registration is tomorrow, the 30th of May. Forgive me, I'm already in June because of the baby fair and the 3FM tour to Ghana. But it's tomorrow, 30th of May, 2025. Don't miss out.
3FM Sunrise.
Sure. Come on. Live on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7 is exciting. We're going to activate the phone lines for you to tell us what you think. Yesterday, the court sat. The Chief Justice is fighting on, holding on. The lawyer says, was the course of law, it must be followed. The law is the law is the law. As the Speaker of Parliament has clarified for us that that's the full quotation or full quote. That is not just the law is the law, but it is the law is the law is the law. The law is the law is the law. What do you think? Keep it decorous, keep it short, keep it simple. Let's hear what you think. 055-924-2717 and 055-691-0154. 055-924-2717 and 055-691-0154. Again, please note the numbers down. 055-924-2717 and 055-691-0154. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Yus, this how are you? I am Ben from New.
Great, talk to me.
Don't you think so? I want to ask this question. Is it lawful for someone to file an injunction about something that the Constitution says that he should do?
I'm not a lawyer, so be careful.
It is law. It is stated in the Constitution. But someone is going to court to restrain the Constitution from doing their constitutional work, the committee from doing their constitutional work. Is it like, does it sound like that? Because it is something that I have been asking myself some questions. Then, if possible, I can go to court and tell somebody not to do a work that has been assigned to him or her by the Constitution.
Okay, I hear you. Thank you very much for your point. We're grateful. Good morning to Mr. Reginald and Sanjay. Good morning to you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Johnny.
Yes, sir. Mr. Hughes is here. How are you doing?
I'm fine, sir. This is Ibrahim from Ted.
Great. Talk to me.
You see, they say the well is one.
Round.
Yes. Sometimes they say if you're on top of the Asante said, you're doing castle. So if you're on top of something, don't look at yourself, but look at down. Maybe what you are doing it may affect somebody. And if it says tomorrow, maybe it may happen that it is on YouTube. 9050 what and what that you question every blessed day that you go to court, and you and the Attorney General are the people who should pretend over this.
I see.
Now you see it has come to you. So you always take it. This one is 550 70 minus 2. It is okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Johnny.
Hey, my brother. No crash, it's saying.
Johnny.
Omafa container if you ho.
Johnny, container. Miss what temper police is against you?
Oh, sir.
Hey, Johnny, you are someone that's a winning mumra. Udimra, Onumra, Oshamra, Odamraso. I didn't know what they had here. Oh, yes, sir. What book constitution and with Yabecho?
Yo, Kawasemi Yankwe, Mitio.
Johnny, Miss Wafidi, a Ghana BBC. Papa. No, almost executive lean now. Jawa, only Mr. Aaron, almost bomb homody, yes, selected the man, Mamma Cow. Ain't you? I like to say that. Opening the patrol, self law is law. The patrol, I can't tell you.
Former Chief Justice, like current Chief Justice on suspension, sorry.
It's your name, patrol. Adia, your name. Me patrol Yakofa constitution fufu bi ne ne ADD anase e constitution na ne di elfaso. Law is law. All law no nye djuma. Omre no what na me say Johnny me ka bibia say am minimum kwa lawyer for your interview more than 20. Obi asesen ka yo no a enka wa rezani. And now what the amati amidu so di betom. So when you no paper na kenkan. It's a then man watching.
You made that say. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Johnny.
Yes, sir. Oh, how are you?
Oh, fine, thank you, Johnny.
Yes, sir.
I hope everything is well.
Alaji, I'm fine. Everything cool?
We thank God.
Alaji, can you explain what a constitution means? When they say constitution, what does it mean?
Me tell me I should explain the constitution.
And what does it mean? When they say constitution, what does it mean? Or would you rather want to spell it?
Constitution is what guides us.
Is what?
We shouldn't do the wrong thing. If you say constitution, don't obey the constitution.
The best in the morning is on 92.7.
That is your constitution. If you do it, and the law will deal with you, that is what we call constitution.
Okay, I like
I think one of your callers, that day I listened to you hear him, and you tell him he should explain the constitution for you, and he explained it different way.
Okay.
I know the constitution.
I hear you, Alaji.
Any person who do wrong, and constitution will deal with you. Johnny, Madam Justice Tikunu,
right,
formerly suspended Chief Justice. She said the law is the law.
Right.
I don't understand because of what point she send the petition into court.
Right.
If you want somebody to be with you good, just be with some people good. If not so, you will not be receiving good things.
Okay, I hear you. Thank you.
And because of that, and the unanimous dismiss the petition.
Yo, I hear you. Alaji, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Great. Good morning. Hello, energy. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Johnny.
Yes, madam, how are you?
Please, I'm fine.
Great.
How are you?
I'm greater than Accra. Talk to me.
I thank God for your life. You know,
Yes.
what our former CJ said is very true. It was very true. The law is the law.
Is the law.
It was the law then, and it is the law now. If I shall educate us, what is going on, the law is the law. So they are applying the law. I thank you very much for educating us.
Thank you very much, too, for speaking to us. Good morning. Oh, sorry about that. Please call us 055-924-2717 and 055-691-0154. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Johnny.
Hey, Ben in Kwabenya, how are you doing?
Oh, not bad, you.
Great. Quickly, let's hear you.
The law
Is the law. Right.
And you see, at times, it saddens me that they are the suspended Chief Justice, who should have known better. That even she went to the stand saying that what, no matter noise one makes, the law is the law. Because each and every judgment she has was passed based on the law. So what has changed now? I'm living with them. It shouldn't allow Danny and others to deceive us, because he has been with the bench for 22 good years. If I were here, I would just resign to have my what? My listen, not feel that I'll be getting. But I will follow these people, then finally you will be just removed. Because from all the lawyers I've been listening to them, none of them have been able to say that what the president did not follow the constitution. So the law is the law. I'm concluding on this, Johnny. You see, as we are saying now, city has appreciated and all.
No. We are not adding anything to it. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Johnny.
Onapo, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm greater than Accra. Talk to me. What do you say?
Right. The law
is the law.
Is the law. And the law still remains the law. You played her voice this morning, and she used the word bend, if you remember.
That's right.
And she wasn't taking it then, isn't it? Why does she want us to use the word that she used that she was not taking it? The bend word, we should bend it so that we should bend the constitution to have the processes going on to be to be broadcast for all of us to see. Have we asked for that? We've not asked for that. She can't have her way. When it comes to other people, no. I mean, the video circulating between she and then Tadio, sorry, it was so uncalled for. The way her body language and everything. So then you are there. So face it. And then it's supposed to be in camera. What is this about her? Anything that goes on, then she comes to explain, or she comes out with it. Why? We don't want to hear. All we want to hear is after she's either she's been given the job back or she's been asked to go. That's all.
Onapo, thank you very much. Good morning. Oh, sorry. 055-924-2717 and 055-691-0154. Good morning.
Good morning, Master John.
Yes, sir. How are you, boss?
I'm good. But you see, this one is very interesting. The law.
The law is the law. Yes.
Yeah, and everybody get the law. You see that one? Yeah, so we want the Chief Justice. Since she says the law is the law, the law that brought her is the same law that is kicking her off. So she should accept that. Since she accepted the law to bring her to office, she should accept the removal now. So, Master Johnny, the law is the law.
Thank you. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Johnny.
Yes, sir. Final caller. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Yourself?
Yes, sir. I'm greater than Accra.
Yeah. I want to quote from Tokonu chapter 1, verse 2.
Okay.
That says that the law is the law. Whatever you do, it will not change. You see, as a man is being disingenuous, and I've been listening to him ever since this discussion crop up. You see, you cannot say that somebody has the Constitution is the book that sets the rules and regulations that govern the country. Your rights cannot supersede that of the Constitution. So when you are saying that the woman has a right and her rights must be respected, so that we disrespect that of the Constitution, is that what you're saying?
I don't know.
No, you should have asked that question, because we are all being guided and controlled by the Constitution. So if you are saying that there have been a set of rules and regulations, and you are saying that no, the Constitution says that this, but because I have my own rights, it must supersede that of the Constitution. You must stop being disingenuous. After all, the law is based on common sense. That is what I told Johnny. Have a good morning.
Thank you very much. We can't pick any more calls. We have to take a quick break. But first, listen to this. This was at the vetting of Her Ladyship, the Chief Justice of the Republic, when she was asked a question about the biasness or otherwise of the courts. He says, no, the court is not biased. They follow the law.
I believe your question started with a premise that judges will do the bidding of the appointing authority. Then your question moved into assuring Ghanaians that judges would work independently. Now, it's difficult for me to appreciate what is meant by the appointing authority, because the appointing authority for Superior Court judges is the president, and with acting on advice and in consultation with the Judicial Council and the Council of State when it comes to the Supreme Court. I think that if there's such a perception, it is a wrong perception, because the load of our work is with respect to the ordinary Ghanaian, hardly has anything to do with appointing authorities. On a daily basis, we are adjudicating tens and hundreds of cases involving the quote-unquote ordinary Joe. Then, as to whether judges give decisions on the basis of independence, independence is always linked with law. And as long as our decisions are premised on law, they must be presumed to have been arrived at independently. What will I do? Consistent engagement with the community of Ghana through the media regarding how the adjudication process functions, and consistent engagement